Hey, hey, Beat Baseball World, welcome back to episode 99. I guess I can't say welcome back because we've never had episode 99 before. Welcome to episode 99 of the Beat Ball Blues Show. Neil Dog, Bam Bam with you. Seth Dog, I have breaking news to start this show. Big news. Nothing? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Oh,
Hello.
you're always so put out of shape when I don't say how are you,
Hello.
Seth. So
Greetings.
important.
Greetings.
How are
Greetings.
you, Seth? Are you my
Hello.
guest?
Hello.
Are you the show
Welcome.
guest tonight?
Welcome.
How are
Welcome.
you, Seth
Welcome.
Dog?
Welcome. You know, I know if I just say no, yeah, I'm ready for the breaking news, then you're going to talk for the next 5 minutes, and I won't ever get a chance to say hello. Hello. I'm
Ah,
good. How are
uh,
you?
no, it's too late. DB already broke the news because you held us up.
Too bad.
The three amigos from the San Antonio Jets, Axe, Zach, D. Smith, are leaving the Big Boys Network, Big Noise Network, to join the TBBS network as we try to grow our empire. React.
Wow. I say, wow.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to do our sound effects. Yay! To the fellas, any reaction? Hello?
Fake news. Fake news.
All right. Are you implying on any level that I would ever say something that wasn't both confirmed, double, and triple confirmed? You implying that?
I don't know. We were just talking about that right before we hit record, so maybe.
Well, a little behind the curtain, but hello to all you guys. I'll start out with the big offensive MVP, D. Smith. Welcome back, baby. How are you?
What up, baby? I'm good.
Excellent. One of our other ringleaders of this wild group, Mr. Zach Arambula, Hall of Fame inductee, Zach Arambula. What's happening, Zachy? Zach, you muted? Did you leave us? We had Zach here before we started, right?
Oh, my bad. I was muted.
No. It's like, did I start without Zach? What's happening,
man?
Zach?
Appreciate it. What's up?
Congratulations, man. How you feeling about being inducted?
It feels good, but it was surprising. I wasn't expecting it. I thought, a little further down, but it's crazy. It feels good for sure.
Congratulations on that. Actually, I'm gonna follow up on a thought with that for a second, but we need to bring in the final member of the three amigos, Mr. Axel Cox. What's happening, Ax?
The one with no accolades. What up, baby?
Smooth 22 from the TBBS network.
No, we're good.
Excellent. Real quick, I guess first I would like Seth's opinion on this, as he's been around forever, because it was brought up how from somebody on Beat Ball Nation that it's kind of odd seeing like somebody like Zach who's still got years of his career in front of him, and you could probably put Tanner Gears in that boat also. And hopefully I'm not leaving anybody out as far as having years in front of them still, but to be inducted in the league's Hall of Fame while they're still playing. And when I was playing, I remember having kind of mixed feelings about it, but overall, like our players, like our Hall of Fame's not a professional Hall of Fame, so when they get inducted years later, the league's not flying them in and having a ceremony. You know what, like 4 of the 7 inductees weren't even there, and they live right there in Texas. So I like players that have earned it, like kind of getting that honor when they're there to celebrate it with the people that know them. Where are you at with this, Seth?
I think on some level it's kind of silly to bring people in so early. Like Jared Woodard, when they brought Jared Woodard in. I mean, he's so young. I mean, he has decades left still in the sport. And you always have that, that idea that, well, perhaps, something could happen and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, there perhaps, if they don't have to be retired, perhaps there should be like a time that they have to be in the game before they can be inducted. I don't know. It's just when you bring people in so early who are going to play for the next 30 years, It's like, man, but I get it. You're not flying people in and all this and that. It's just very weird as it relates to all the other sports.
I do think it's like an honor. Sorry,
inducting Pat Mahomes into the Hall of
yeah.
No, he's there. He's clearly good enough, but you just won't do it quite yet.
I feel you, but again, that goes to like my original point of it from the standpoint that like Pat Mahomes, when he goes in, is going to have like family and friends. It's going to be on TV. Like our league isn't a professional league, and it's a nonprofit organization. So like we don't have those same options, and that's where I swerve because I do think it's something you're celebrating the person's career. So it should be at the end, not like in the middle, like in a case like that. D. Smith, you're a new player, and you're very close to already being eligible for the Hall of Fame. Where do you feel on it as a newer player? Where do you sit?
Somebody had commented saying that we're our own league and we're unique, and I kind of fall in line with that. Like, it's the current requirements aren't easy. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot of really hard work to accomplish just to be eligible to be a Hall of Famer. So, I mean, I'm cool with it.
All right, Axe and Zach, you guys got thoughts? We'll start with you, Axe, since Zach was the inductee.
Yeah, no, I agree with a little bit with Smith, a little bit with you. I mean, and a little bit with Seth too. I mean, it is when you come from the sports world or whatever, it is odd, but baseball is odd, So
Exactly right.
So I agree with your point that we're not going to be flying, or the league's not going to be flying people out and stuff. So Zach was able to have some of his family there because we were in Texas. So it was a big deal, and I like the way the format they have right now. So.
Big Zach, you have anything to say? But I guess kind of put you in an odd position.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with y'all. Like, it's cool. I'm okay with people still playing the sport and maybe having a few years left in them and still getting in. I think I like what Seth said. Maybe being in the league for a certain amount of years would be good, but I don't know what that would look like. The only thing I wasn't a fan of was having it right before the championship game. It was just a little weird, but just to try to change the mindset and break and then go back and join the fellas.
Yeah, right.
It was a little weird, but
I actually liked it when it was part of the banquet. I know that they try to cut down on the banquet, but cut down some of the nonsense, man. Our Hall of Fame ain't nonsense. And they only gave you guys, they set that thing for 9:30. Like I had all the, we were doing recaps every day. And so I laid out the schedule at the end of our show. It's like they're going to start the Hall of Fame at 9:30, and then the introductions for the championship game not till 10:30. Seth, they got to be having like a big thing. They didn't even start it till like 9:50, and it was over by 10 o'clock.
yeah, it's quick.
So why can't that be part of the banquet?
Let me ask. How many people are in the Hall of Fame now?
I would have to go back and count. I would say less than 30, but I don't know. A lot have gone in just in the last 2 years, so I don't know.
That would be my thing, because it seems like a lot have gone in recently. It would just, to me, be perhaps the requirements need to be a little bit more stringent, and we talked about this as you're going to relate to the religious tournaments,
regional.
Is there at least one that goes in every year?
No. Sometimes they go years without it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was a lot,
There's been I don't know by who. I can't like point a finger at it. There's been an effort the last 2 years. They put a bunch of people in from Kansas related when it was in Kansas, and then 7 people. Like I said it as kind of a joke to Seth. I was like, oh, you think we're gonna get like 20 people from Texas going in tomorrow? And next thing you know, there's 7 people going in. So
the first time they did that was a few years back. I remember it with the group of Cleveland players. They sent like 5 Cleveland players, the Wilbur Marshalls, and
clearly somebody.
No, I do want to say something. I wanted to say this when I was talking for Hall of Fame, but I didn't want to bring it up. And it brings up another topic of usual topic. Man, they gotta change at least some type the All-Star things because you gotta get 5 all tournaments at the World Series, right?
Right.
Well,
or 1 or 2 regionals equal 1 all World
well,
Series.
that's okay. Yeah, that's a lot.
Just for clarity.
Either way, the like great midfielders and outfielders, it's hard for them to get on those defensive alternatives, and sometimes they're only DFs, and so they don't have that opportunity to make the offensive alternative, and so it leaves out a lot of people for sure. Like
opportunity wise on defense, absolutely.
Yeah, and like Axe should be in already if I'm in.
Yeah, I mean we have,
but he never plays short. He usually plays mid, or he's always played mid. He played a few years in the beginning. He played short.
no, I mean Mike Finn ended up getting in.
That's why I got my couple All-Stars was when I played up front my first 2 years.
Exactly.
Mike Finn ended up getting in, and it's mostly on offense. But like I consider Axel and Mike Finn the 2 best middle defenders. Like if I'm building a defense, I want either both of them or Mike Finn or Axel playing that middle area because I think they're very dependable in those spots. But you're right, that doesn't get the numbers, and so it doesn't get the recognition. So it does seem like some people have been passed through, not so much on like what the numbers on the field, and more like contribution to the game. And I do think that it should be, now that we're closing in on 50 years, it should be more than just numbers. And something you said also, Zach, rather than just simply like those 5 all-star appearances, because like people like Nick Mulhern and David Smith are going to be eligible 8 years, Gerald Dykes so quickly in their career. Maybe there should be like a 10-year playing time, all what I mean, like somebody could literally play 5 great years and be put in our Hall of Fame.
I mean, literally, it could even be shorter with the number of regional tournaments that are popping up now.
Excellent. Yeah.
And then also, I'm just curious. This is a curious question, but y'all know if any MLB players that just played DH their whole career making Hall of Fame?
I believe Edgar Martinez did. I'm not positive he's in the Hall of Fame. I think he made it in recently, but he mostly was a DH through his career.
But it's not like a popular thing. Like if you're just good at
DH. I get your point that you could be a DH and beat ball, or a DF that played short and beat ball.
That's a good point too. I mean, both sides of that. But you know what? Because we got other things we should move on to. But we could close it with this. We have 2 board members in this conversation, man. So chop. You guys take this conversation back to the powers that be.
Well, you are the powers.
We're working on it. We're working on that All-Star on the defensive All-Star thing.
Oh, I like it. I like hearing it. Well,
Demo, more specifically Demo. But we're gonna put our input too. So.
I've like in the last year maybe gotten to know Demo probably better than I mean we've been familiar with each other since way back when he started playing, but that dude's a good beat ball dude. Like he'll do anything for the sport of beat ball, and he's not in it for him, he's just in it for the sport.
Yeah, he better come to the All-Star weekend.
We'll get to the All-Star weekend stuff in a bit, man. Let's talk about your guys' season a little bit. I said before we started the show, like Seth and I believe you guys think more like Seth and I do. There's first and there's last. Like we never celebrated finish. Us personally never celebrated finishing second. And I believe you guys are at least similar to that. But still, you guys need to be applauded for a really good season and a really tough run with a brand new pitcher. So start out talking about that. I'll go to you first, Zach. Been like a veteran around this sport a long time. How do you feel like your Jeremy Lopez did coming through his first year?
First place losers, baby. Let's go. So man, it was a blessing, man. It's rare when you find a first year pitcher that's as motivated. This dude was bugging us all the time. Let's go get some practice in, odd times during the week, outside of like our scheduled practice on the weekends. So he put in the work, and it was a bumpy ride, but that's what fam does, you know. We go through it all and ride with each other. But it was good.
I'm sure it was helpful that like he's been with you guys the last year or more, and like he knew he, excuse me, he's still a rookie pitcher, but at least he like went into it kind of knowing what he's getting into, like not just thrown, uh, throw to the Lions. D. Smith, Axe, you guys got any words on your boy Jeremy?
Yeah, man. Definitely. Just want to say what Zach was saying, pretty much, and that he put in Jay Remy. He put in the work for sure. He had been practicing with us since pretty much August, September of last year. Like right after Kevin left, he was in there putting in work. We got in that Tyler tournament in October. Um, the only games that we lost in our little scrimmages and regional tournaments were both against the Edge. So definitely put in that work, and it showed. And people were congratulating us all night Saturday night after that loss. And I was like, congratulations for what? We finished second, so I'm on the same sentiment. I wasn't happy finishing second, but definitely happy for our pitcher and for our future.
Couldn't hurt, D. Smith. He helped you hit 800 for the tournament, get that MVP.
Yeah. Seth, you hear that? Because I remember episode a while back, you're like, they're not gonna have no All-Stars this year.
Yeah, he did say that.
I did. I also didn't pick you guys to win the championship. D. Smith, did you win the championship or did you tie for last? You tied for last. It was a great year, man. It's a great year. I speak my mind, man, and I'm wrong.
So, you're good. All right, cool. You're good.
Not only did D. Smith get the MVP, Zach and Axel weren't that far off. Zach was just barely off the hitting list. Axe hit somewhere, you're like 6 something, right around 600, right, Axe?
628. Yeah, who's counting?
Yeah, you should be. That's solid. And little Ricky, man, Little Meat was one of our better offensive players this year. So, man, it wasn't just D. Smith, man. He had these guys hitting.
Sure did, and this dude's a perfectionist. So you think he was motivated last season? Shoot, it's gonna be a magical ride just like this last season.
Man, this fool was like, I don't know if I can play. I'm playing blind soccer. I'm not gonna be able to practice as much.
Ricky.
Like, Little
Meat.
You can wake up and play beat ball, and you're gonna be good. Like, we're gonna ride with you. Like, let's go.
Yeah, we. I assume we can say this now, but when D. Smith came on the show, like back in April or May, I think it was. And D. Smith and I were waiting for Seth to connect so we could record the show. I pop in on Zoom and it's Ricky and David Smith talking. And little Ricky, like, man, the soccer thing's getting serious. Like, whoa, breaking news! But I was glad that it all worked out to where he got to play. Man, he had a phenomenal year.
You can't be saying breaking news. That's DB's thing, man. You gotta say
something. That's what Seth
said. Come up with your own thing, Neil.
That's what Seth. Well, I'm not gonna bother with it anymore, frankly. But that was what Seth said. But in the end, like I guess the way I looked at it is, everybody says breaking news. I mean, DB does maybe I'm wrong about Demo. I don't know how. I don't remember. It's been so long since Demo's broke anything that I don't remember how he posted it. When, like Jerry Wendell put the rankings out there, he put breaking news on it. I thought in
DB Nation, says this just in. That's what DB says. This just in.
But he does do the. I mean, the breaking news definitely is part of it too. But either way, I ain't breaking nothing. I should have stayed out of that business to begin with. Yeah, I've only done it twice. As I think about it, I didn't do it right either time because a source like 2 years ago, a source within the Gateway Archers came to me and said, "Hey, we just signed Richie Cresswell. Could you let that out?" And I didn't bother reaching out to Richie to see if it was true. I just let it out, man. So and now that didn't hurt me like this did, but like I've in both cases had my head up my ass. So the journalism game's 2 strikes, you're out. I'm out. So I'll stick to what I know. I'll do what the Bam Bam tells me to do. That's all. Hey, so I want to talk to you guys because I talked about it on this show. I talked about it on Greg Lindbergh's podcast. Like you guys playing 4 games on Friday to get into the championship game. I mean, Seth and I have been on multiple teams that have played 3 on Friday. You guys have probably played 3 before on Friday. I don't know, but like playing the 3 games on Friday is a grind to get to the championship game, especially when the undefeated team played 1 game and they're just chilling at the hotel in air conditioning. But playing the 4 and with the rookie pitcher, I'll start out with you, Axel. Man, what was that grind like? Because you guys stepped up at every single game.
Man, it was fun, bro. Like, I told everybody in every huddle we got in, man, embrace the grind, embrace it, because you know going into it that you're gonna have to play 4 games to get to where you want to be. So just get in that mind frame that it's gonna be a grind. Your body's gonna be hurt, you're gonna be tired, but shit, like you leave it all on the field, man. There ain't nothing else to play for after this. So that's what I kept telling everybody. That's what we did, and we handled business. Got to where we wanted to be on Saturday, and the rest is history. We didn't finish that out, but we got there. So it was a lot of fun, though, for sure.
Seth, that totally reminds me, because like when we're in those situations, the one thing you used to always tell the team, like, no regrets. Don't come out of tomorrow regretting what you did not do, because this is it.
So, as I tell my football team now, hard work isn't fun, else they would call it fun work. So, it's hard work for a reason, though.
D. Smith, man, how like what was that Friday like for you?
Oh man, it was one of those experiences that you'll never forget the rest of your life. But I remember when we lost to Austin, we were pissed, man. I mean, I remember in the handshake line, I was talking shit. I was like, "Don't get too happy. We're gonna see y'all Friday. I promise you." And then the next day comes, and then the second game is rained out, and we're like, "Oh," I'm sitting by myself, and I'm thinking, "Son of a bitch, man! Like, this is gonna be fun. It's wartime, baby. Let's go." So, and then in the middle of it, you're not, like Axel said, you embrace and grind, and you're just mentally in it so much that you don't feel any discomfort or anything like that. I mean, we were so locked in. It was amazing. We were playing literally as one, and it's something I'll never forget.
How do you feel about your boys on that Friday, Zach?
Man, I was super proud of the team. We all stuck together. We played our best ball, fought through all the aches and pains and all that. So it was fun. I want to add, one of those 4 teams was Houston. So that's like almost 5 games, Like, damn.
Yeah.
But,
Boston ain't fast either.
Yeah, so but I'm also glad it was top tier teams. Like I think they're all top 8, and it was all quality teams. That was dope. I also want to
run tomorrow, baby.
Wednesday after we played, was it BCS? Who did we play before Houston?
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been.
I think it was Atlanta.
It was okay.
Oh, yeah, it was Atlanta.
So man, we were ready to play Houston in the rain. I think we were the only team out there still when it was pouring rain. And then with Dave Taylor still chilling under the tent too. Everyone else that went either in the buses or in their cars or in the
cooling center.
Yeah.
But the Jets were still under the tent, baby, ready to ball.
Yes, sir. It would kind of slow down a little bit, and then you would hear like a light. You would see a light, and you'd be like, "Nah, damn it, 30 more minutes."
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that took us to Friday. It was a blast, man. It was fun.
I gotta give
Lightning get a little closer, man. We might have missed the Jets for the rest of the season, man. Damn, man. When
What's
Lightning goes, you guys are supposed to get off the grass.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, D. Smith did go. D. Smith went to his car.
I've got to give Rosina Foster from the Game of the Day streams credit because she wasn't in hiding either. She was out recording videos and doing it with disclaimers like, I'm a grown ass woman. I can stand out this rain if I want to. I don't need to be criticized. It's pretty good. It's entertaining.
Also, give credit to the Hawks, man. They beat us for sure. I don't know why we changed our defense from last year, but we're playing. So against the Hawks, we had Smith playing deep left, me playing mid right, and then Ricky up front left, and our rookie Hector playing up front rights. But we also didn't hit well either, though, and they were picking them up.
So, and I honestly, this was something I was going to ask you guys. I had forgotten about it coming into the show, but throughout the show, it's reminded me. I was asking the Edge the same thing last week. So, what did you switch to? What ultimately were you guys playing defensively as you went on?
So after that Hawks game, we went back to our championship defense from
last year.
Yeah, last year.
Not championship winning, but
minus Richie. But Richie, well, I meant like we were ranked first or whatever.
Yeah. No, you guys had a really good defense last year.
Well, we replaced Richie for Will Lopez, which he stepped up. He played really well in the back. But yeah, we went to me and Ricky up front, Axel Smith in the middle, and then Will Lopez and Rene Almanza deep.
I had a feeling maybe that's what you guys were doing. It makes it even more impressive what Ricky did, like averaging over 4 putouts a game from short right.
Short right,
yeah, that's not easy to do. And shout out to Will Lopez because when I was giving credit for what you guys did offensively, he too had a good offensive year. So
yep. Also, man, we did this year in this tournament with probably 11 members, and that's including probably 12, including volunteers. So we were shorthanded for sure. Coaching by committee, it was crazy.
We got to be one of the only teams run by blind people.
Sure.
Gotta be.
So is it kind of, because that's something I've wondered throughout the season, is it now kind of like coaching by committee? Like, do all 3 of you kind of run the team now?
Yeah,
we get, Jeremy helps with input, but he's still learning the ropes a little bit. And but yeah, it's just us 3. We are giving each other input and trying to figure it out.
All right. Well, before
I think that was part of us, just with that defense. Zach was I don't know why we did the defense, but that was just because it's our first time like doing this, like running the team really. Kevin before put everything together, and so it was trial and error, but we righted the ship and we got to Saturday. So
I don't personally see any reason why you wouldn't. Like you guys have good pieces. One of the pieces that you shifted around quite a bit was Richie Flores. He filled in different roles as you needed him, but so he's gone. But you got Ricky that's coming up, and it's like you gotta find that balance of like letting him run with it, or like staying with what you're already doing. Like I if I had those pieces, I would be trying things also. Like you need to know. You don't know what your best is until you try it all.
Exactly.
It's funny. I think I had a dinner like maybe a couple weeks for the series with Kevin, and he was saying, why don't y'all just go back to the old defense where y'all had everybody? And in my head, I was like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about.
You ain't even coming to practice. You don't know.
Yeah, you're not at practice. But yeah, eventually we went back to what he said.
I think a lot of it was just like when Richie left, that they left that 6 spot open, and we were just trying to find the best option for it, but as soon as we saw it wasn't working, we're like, we're going back.
Well, right, because I was in deep left in Chicago. Yeah, we tried that out, which when everyone said it was bad, but I don't think it was bad. Like all the balls went to me. I just did not play good. And but we decided everyone except for the edge, we're just gonna play it straight up.
Well, I certainly wasn't one that thought it was bad. Um, I do think that you're one of the premier defensive players, and particularly at shortstop. And like I had the same attitude like when Eric Mazariegos left our team and went to Kansas. You know, here Eric was the best shortstop ever in our game, and they're playing him like in center field. And Seth and I are just kind of laughing at it, like, what are you guys doing? So I didn't think you going out to left was crazy because I knew it was behind trying to see if Ricky, you know, if you, Ax, and Ricky could just lock down that left side, and so I certainly saw the potential of that. But taking somebody like yourself, who I think is like you're really good as a active player, you know, in deep left field, you don't get
range, bro.
No, and I'm not. I don't think he would be a bad left fielder. Like I would have a hard time taking him out of the infield because he's such a great infielder. Is I guess the point I'm failing to make and trying to make.
No, for sure. I'm just saying up front, in that left field spot, he could show his range. He has crazy range, bro. Like,
I thought you were correcting me. Like in left field, he had crazy range, which I would expect him to have. Like I knew he could be a good left fielder. I have a hard time taking people out where I think they're best.
I'm playing mid left behind him. I don't get no damn balls.
Well, I think that should be the expectation for the league now. If you're gonna have a front, your shortstop should play from 90 feet to like 140, 150. Like you should be playing like that if you can.
From like 40 feet, because you got to get up to the front too.
Yeah, to 40. So 40 to 140.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean that could be a whole show on its own right there. But I do like that you guys are already working on trying to change things up a little bit as far as the look of the All-Star stuff.
And another cool thing is that in the championship game, I don't know if anyone ever said it, but we had moved D. Smith to left field. We shifted for probably like 4 out of the 6 batters against the edge.
Yep. You did like a shift, like just moved him and left everybody else in place.
So yeah, so we put Smith. All right, so we run a 1 up the middle, 5 down the sideline, and so I'm short. I'm playing in a 3. Ax is playing in a 2, and then we move Smith from right field. And we put him in a 4. Around about the same depth as Ax, so midfield, maybe like a little short. Was he shorter than you?
He was 135, and I range between 135 and 155.
Yep. And then Will Lopez moved over it because we usually have our 6 in the 4 zone, but we moved him to the 3 zone, so gave him a little opportunity to maybe get to the 5 and the 1 because we moved Smith to be in that 4 and 5.
Yeah.
It worked out, man. Like a lot of Z Smith has some good opportunities and he made some plays. Worked out. I thought it worked out pretty well. I mean, we lost, but
listen, back in the day, our team came up with a defensive playbook that was like 13 pages long, and Seth was the innovator of that more than I. I mean, it was kind of a compilation between Seth, Eric, Don, and I, but Seth really pushed for it. But we had like 4 like a standard defense and kind of like 3 shifts. We narrowed it down to just the 2 shifts, but man, I mean, I'm totally behind like teams being innovative like that. You know what I mean? Like, worry about the team that's in front of you. If there's something you need to do, we had to do that against Kevin. Like, that's kind of where it started because we would play our standard defense and Kevin would just pound our right field, and we didn't have I remember the very first championship game we made it to in '98, like 2-3 innings in, I went to Don. I was like, we have to spread out. Kevin's killing us in right field, and he wouldn't do it in the middle of the game. But every year after that, we have what we called an Austin defense because Kevin could kill us on right field. We spread out our right field more. So I'm totally behind you guys doing whatever you need to do.
Yeah. I personally love it, man. Like I love I love having a strategy for each player. You know, it forces you to have to really study the game and study each player that you're gonna go up against, and it's fun to see. Like I can imagine from the spectator point of view, it's fun to see the shifts going on, right? And then especially fun when you see it work out. But nah, I love it.
It was mainly D. Smith running back and forth.
Yeah, bro. I was like galloping in the beginning, but towards the end I was Ranger shuffling, and I was like, shoot.
We also had a rookie spotter trying to facilitate that too, and she did well. Rose.
Yep,
No,
yep.
Yeah.
Was she working with Cat? Cat still
Sure.
your other?
Yeah,
Cat's in
Rose
right
was
field,
that.
Rose
Yeah.
left field.
Excellent. Nice work.
And one of the most proud facts of the dog shift that we designed, we could do it on our own. We didn't need Spider.
Oh, okay. My bad, big dog.
I forgot about that, but
Yeah.
we spent a lot of time at practice, like bringing each other to a spot or whatever.
Right.
Like I had to call Eric over to me, or no, Eric. When we did our right field shift, we have 5 people in right field, and I would go play shortstop by myself. I was the only one in left field. So Eric would call me out, and then somebody call Eric to right field. Like, we spent time doing our shifts so that it wouldn't hold up the game. We didn't want to be Houston.
We're not the smartest group, so we didn't do it that way. But yeah, from what I remember, when I played the dogs back when we first started, I remember y'all didn't have a lot of volunteers either, right?
I don't know. We had a pretty good group. We never had a huge group, but we had what we needed. You know, Don coaching, 2 spotters, and a pitcher and a catcher. We didn't like Uncle Mike would go do some scouting for us and stuff. But yeah, we never had like much more than that.
Man, shout out to Uncle Mike, man. I missed him at this one.
Uncle Mike. Yeah, he didn't come this year.
What up, Uncle Mike?
Everybody loves Uncle Mike, man. So before we dive into the All-Star Weekend, Seth, you got any more on their team?
Not that I can think of.
All right. You guys ready to talk about this All-Star Weekend thing? Because I think
baby.
DB's been out there promote that people would hear about it on
if you
TBBS.
Build
it. 45 minutes later, we haven't even mentioned it. So where'd the original seed start, man? Who was?
Well, I remember bringing it up on your show, and y'all kind of laughed at me about it.
So so D. Smith.
You sure it wasn't just Seth laughing at you? I didn't laugh.
D. Smith.
And I don't remember bringing it up on the show. So if I laughed, it's laughing.
All right. So D. Smith has about 20 ideas a minute.
Yeah, right.
And out of those ideas, you're gonna get one that's be like, damn, all right, that looks all right. But he had mentioned one that was a USA team, and I always said, David, shut up, dude. USA team, we can't even play anybody. There's no. And so and then I was just thinking about it, and I brought it up to them. I was like, let's just do an All-Star Weekend. Like, it has been talked about before. No one's really like followed up with it or did any try to like organizing with it. And we had done our November thing last year with Houston and Austin. I was like, man, that's a good time. Like, let's try to do something in that time frame. And it's after the series. And so obviously Axel and Smith were like, let's go, let's do it. And then I thought that it'd be smart to bring someone else in for like ranking. We thought to do the rankings with DB, right? I was like, we're gonna do it with DB. He watches a lot of beat ball. And we also told him, hey, if you want to market it. We know like that's your thing.
Yep.
And from there, we just we started getting to work, trying to put it together, promote it. And it's the players always wanted it. The players have always wanted it, and someone just needed to do it.
Yeah,
what is exactly what is gonna happen? All right, so I don't know anything about what's gonna happen.
So on Friday, we're thinking about.
It's gonna start tomorrow first, so let him know how the selection and all that's gonna go.
Well, I'll let someone else speak on the elections, but I'll just speak on what's gonna happen on that weekend.
Okay. Yes, tell us that.
So these are tentative times, but on Friday, probably like a 4 to 10 or 4 to 9. We're gonna do skills competitions. I think one of them is going to be fastest one to the coffin corner. So usually they're going to be your short fielders. And we're not sure on the details how we want to do that, whether we just kind of want to roll the ball out to coffin corner and tell them to go, or someone can consistently hit a ball to a coffin corner. I think that'd be pretty hard. But timing that start and time where you pick up the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A one hopper competition for midfielders and outfielders.
Oh, Mikey Finn. He
Yep,
one hopped
yep.
one this year.
And a longest ball competition.
All
Those
right.
are the three we have for so far. So that's going to be most of that day, and then we're going to play one game at the end of that day.
No, I was just going to ask. I was like, that's all going to take 5 hours? I'm not coming out for that.
And we're hoping we're going to play one game that night, hopefully under some lights, baby. That'll be dope. And then Saturday, we're going to play 2 more games. Probably it'll be like a noon to 6.
Right.
It's a best of 3, so.
Yep.
And
So,
will
go
the
ahead.
team stay the same
That's what I was
throughout
going to ask.
all 3 games?
Yes, teams will stay the same, yeah.
It's a best of 3 series.
What if it's the best of 3? If one team wins first 2 games, are you still going to play a third game?
Well, no one wants to get swept 3 times, so you go win one at least. You know?
So there's 3 games, no matter what. It's not the best of 3. You're playing 3 games.
Yep.
Frankly, I'd be worried about. I'd want to win all 3. I don't like losing, so
for sure. Yeah, man, we're excited about it. And then whoever wanted to talk about the selection process, DB or Axel Smith might.
Well, DB's not here, but yeah, so he DB has his little committee, selection committee, and we're gonna take the top 25 from his top 100 list. He's putting together rookies as well, and three, right? 3 women.
Yeah, three top ranked girls that
Yeah, so then that's gonna be 30. And the way that's gonna work is we're gonna, once we get those selections, I think it's gonna be hard for everyone who's selected to be able to make it. So the way that's gonna work is because he puts that top 100, we are gonna go down the line. Like, so say number 25 can't make it, so then we'll reach out to 26, so on and so forth. And then as far as I don't know if it's been announced yet, but we have verbal commits from Jared and Kyle to be the pitchers. And the way that the teams are going to be selected, did we already agreed on that on the snake thing, or?
I'm not sure if we agreed on it, but that was one of the it's looking like
it was that or random draw.
So the snake draft with the pitchers picking the team, and the pitchers for at least their starting 6 being capped at 2 of their own teammates. So like, it's not going to be Kyle picking all his edge teammates. It'll only be 2 people at the most from his team on his starting 6, and then you can go from there. So
the pitchers pick the teams. Is that
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also for the pitcher as well, if something happened, which we hope it doesn't, that Jared or Kyle weren't able to make it, we would go to the next ranked pitcher and invite them. As
far as contact goes, so I think that would be Jeremy, right? Number 3.
Yes, sir.
Works out perfect.
Jeremy.
So I guess jumping in a little bit on how you laid it all out, X. Just like, I guess, for clarity for everybody, even myself, because I'm actually on the selection committee. I've been working with Dave Benny, Demetrius Morrow, and Christina Smurs. And we were the committee. We each turned in, our top 40, and then made a master list, and then went down and built and we'll talk more about that. Let DB fill everybody in more on that on tomorrow's stream in Beepball Nation. But it's my understanding, because actually listed it as like the top 25, but as DB's been laying it out, we came up with the top 20, and then there's 5 alternates. Actually, I believe the rookies and the females, as DB's last put it, are considered like part of the alternates also. So it's like 20 with 10 alternates. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there'll be 2 teams of 10 picked, and then if players off either of those teams of 10 can't make it, then the alternates get invited to come. Yes. Or is everybody being invited? Are you hoping to have all 30 there, period?
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody.
man.
Yeah, yeah,
We're hoping to
for
have
sure.
all 100 in there, baby.
Yeah,
Everyone's invited.
Yeah.
Hey, well, hey,
Everyone's
since I
invited.
have you guys on now, and I'm not going to be on tomorrow or anything like that, what do you guys are envisioning to kind of stop this from being a second super spreader event caused by B-ball?
Second what? Oh, super spreader. Smith. D. Smith.
yeah.
Yeah, D. Smith, CDC, right there.
Yes, sir.
Got
Yes,
it.
sir. So I actually have my team that I'm on at Wellman have already volunteered to be out there as medical people. I haven't told y'all guys that, but there you go. And yeah, I mean, I will ensure that we educate before people come.
That's coming from a man that works in the field of wellness.
Okay.
I like that. I like that.
Also, wanted to add, like me, Smith, and Axe don't have like anything to do with the rankings or anything like that. We wanted to make that a thing just so that way people aren't like, oh, these people are putting it together and then they're also in it for the rankings.
And then
So,
picking
or else
themselves.
all the jets would be on there. But,
all we did was give them our idea and like kind of the parameters for them, you know, that this is what we're going to select or this is what we're taking. So
yeah. It was pretty funny, man. When we first brought it up to DB, we had a little meeting on the phone and we ended it. And I think he thought he had hung up already, but he was hyped up. He's like, fucking JetLife. But yeah, man, he was hyped and it's fun. It's gonna be good.
You know this. I've been unethical all week, so I might as well just go all the way in. Each individual on the committee was given 4 strikes. I'm not giving away anything. DB has announced that out in Beepall Nation, but we were each given 4 strikes as we went down making the selection list, and I used 2 of my strikes, 2 of my 4 on D. Smith. I was telling everybody up front. Everybody up front.
It's never been easy, baby.
He said something very inappropriate to me through a text the other day, and I had to penalize him. I actually would like to know, on a serious note, if you could share more about the sponsors, like how they're coming in, what they're, the first one, I'm not even familiar. I know I've read the name a few times. Like, what's the connection?
Tappy, baby. Yeah, that's something.
Tappy.
That's something that me and Will and David Smith started. It's a nonprofit that we started here in Texas, and basically we just support programs and we try to market adaptive sports in Texas. But yeah, they're sponsoring some money and just sponsoring the events and helping organize. Obviously, because me, Smith, and Axe and Smith, me, Smith, and Axe are helping it, and then Smith has a good relationship with those boys in St. Louis, so we're able to have a good connection.
Mind's Eye, baby. Mind's Eye.
They donated. Shout out to them. And then Sports Vision 2020 has always been friends of ours, and they're helping us out too.
It's our parent organization.
Yeah.
Right.
What does TAPI stand for?
Oh, it's Texas Adaptive Play Initiative.
I'm disappointed. It almost sounds like it should be a candy or something. My sugar addiction gets all excited, like Tappy.
Not Taffy. Tappy.
Oh, my bad.
Like,
Tapioca, boy.
All right, man. Well, before we wrap it up and get everybody ready for tomorrow, you guys got anything else about All-Star Weekend you want to add in there?
Man, we'll come out and support.
Yep.
It's gonna be fun.
Be a big party.
Oh, when is it?
First weekend in November, correct?
Yep, in November.
No, not the first weekend. We're shooting for the 18th and the 19th of November.
November 4th. We were shooting for November 4th. We're locking down this field, and they gave us some new dates. So, but it's not going to be moved up. It just might be getting pushed back a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, to give everybody a heads up on how we're doing the stream, I have the ability with my Zoom account to stream straight to Facebook, just like Seth and I do straight to the YouTube. And I should be able to have the ability to stream straight into Beatball Nation because this is tied into Beatball Nation's rankings. So it's a Beatball Nation thing. But for some reason, even though they've made me an admin of Beatball Nation just so that I could do this, it's still not working. I've done every setting that they've said to do, and it still won't work. So I've made my personal account a public account. The stream's going to be started on my personal page, probably just a little bit before 4 o'clock Central. And then people are going to be sharing it into Beatball Nation. And frankly, I made it public. You could share it anywhere. Share it on your team page. The more people we get watching, the better for this event. So everybody feel free to share it, but we'll get things up and going by sometime right around 4 o'clock Central. And that is when all the selections minus D Smith will be announced. D Smith, man, I'll be honest. I moved you way up. I had you real high on my top 40. I'm impressed with how you've become more of a two-way player, and you're a monster at the plate, dude. So I had you very high on my list.
Nothing without my boys.
The other two almost made it in my top 40. They're close.
It's pretty exciting. I heard there's a lot of people that were on the bubble. So
yeah,
honestly, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I will say that it was cool to hear players like get excited at the World Series. They're like, man, I got to work hard. I got to make sure I make this top 20. It was cool to. We've heard that from a lot of players. Now it's awesome.
And that's part of the point too, right? Any type of motivation to hire everyone with, dedication or talent around the league. So.
Like somebody said earlier, it's been talked about forever, and in generic terms, like people going back to the 80s when I started playing, saying things like they would love to see the all defensive team play the all offensive team, and it's been pointed out a million times that would have 6 infielders playing the best hitters in the league. So that doesn't even make too much sense, but still. With that said, we've all, I believe, had the desire to play in something like this. There was when Seth and I were in our heyday, there was no player rankings. I have no idea where I could have, like in my best years, I have no idea where I could have ended up on a list like this. But the thought that I could have been picked for a game like this, it's exciting. And it's 20 years behind me. So I love that you guys are doing it. I don't know if you would be doing it if you didn't expect to be in the top 20, but still, I'll give you credit for doing it because nobody's done it before.
There is pressure. I mean, there's pressure for sure. There's pressure for sure. Like, each one of us could have had a bad week just like that. Well, so
we plan on doing this even when we're done. So
right.
If we're in there or not.
Yeah. When we've met as a committee, not you three, but the committee I announced that was part of the selection committee, or was the selection committee, I told them then as we were talking about selections, I look at this as a 2022 thing because next year we'll be looking at the 2023 players or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I took my part of it as you guys wanted me to give my idea of the best players this year, and that was my goal.
Yep,
that's part of it.
Yes,
and it's cool. We get to finish off the year with some high level beat ball that we ain't never seen before. So at this level,
I think everybody's looking forward to it. So let's end this now, and we'll see everybody for Selection Sunday. I'm looking forward to it.
Damn, Bam Bam was quiet this podcast.
Yeah, sure was.
Sometimes that's my fault. I jump in too much. Although he could take some responsibility and we could do pre-show meetings and actually plan out a little bit more so we know what each other is doing.
I was napping, man. And if you could have seen me, Neil, writing out my practice plan and texting them to my coaches at 5:15 for our 6 o'clock practices that I did not make this last week, you would know how I am. So it is what it is.
What
man.
I heard there is you do consider getting prepared for your football practice is important, but our famous Beatball Blues show disappointed. Full disappointment.
Hey, Neil Dog,
Yeah.
for my football team, I'm the head coach, right? My people just
Fair
wait to
enough.
hear what we're doing.
Fair enough. I'm glad you just acknowledged me as the head coach here.
You are clearly the head coach
All
of the
right.
Beatball Blues
Fair
show.
enough. Well, that's guys. You didn't hear much from Seth Dog in this one because he's my assistant, and assistants don't need to say nothing.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks,
Give me
fellas.
some coffee.
Hey, well, assistants and their family are invited too. Hey, Bam Bam, come out if
Hell
you're so
yeah,
pleased.
That's Super Bowl weekend, man. That's Super Bowl weekend right there.
Nah, it ain't not.
No, for
his team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's fun.
Hey, well, good luck. Hopefully, y'all are in there. Y'all tear it up.
We won't. But we could hope. Hey, you could always have high hopes in August, man. Always high hopes in August. Yeah.
All
right, fellas, we're out of here. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time, man. Look forward to
Okay.
being with you tomorrow.
JetLife.
Thank you,
Always.
Frankie Porter, for all your work in the background. Thank you, Seth Dog, for taking
JL4L.
whatever he just said.
Good
Peace out,
night,
everybody.
Cindy.
There you go.